Welcome back. Communication is a key factor for advancement in every facet of life, be it at home, in relationships, school, or at work. Very importantly, in the workplace, it is definitely a surefire way of success. Joining us this morning to explore conversations about communication is a broadcaster, communicator, and author of the book, Act Like a Student, Speak Like a Boss. The book is a hands-on practical communication manual that dares to intercept and alter the age-long norm of communication as the transmission of an idea between two or more persons. Good morning, Nelson Etah. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so first of all, congratulations on your book. I have a copy here, Act Like a Student, Speak Like a Boss.
Thank you.
A practical guide to communicating with power and purpose.
Absolutely.
Why did you see the need to write this book? Why was it important to you? I know you're a broadcaster as well.
Yeah.
But why was it important that you had to write this book on communication?
It became important because, again, as I go around the country and people hear me talk and they'll be like, oh, I like the way you talk. You know, I like your voice. And that's great, right? I mean, you like that kind of accolade. But then I asked myself, everybody doesn't speak like me. Everybody cannot speak like I do or like you do. So if you can't talk like this, are you then excused from the world of communication? So I had to begin to look into how can you communicate effectively without having to speak the way any broadcaster do. And I realized that it is much more beyond your voice, your accent or tone, and all of that. It has to be something about your person. It has to be something about your intellectual capacity, your knowledge quotient, your intelligence, quotient. It has to be something about that, about your personality, to be able to still effectively communicate. And so what I did with this book was to delve into that, to help everyone and anybody who will read the book to realize that you needn't sound like an Englishman to be an effective communicator. You just need to be somebody who is intelligent, who has knowledge, who has information. And then out of the abundance of your intelligence and your knowledge, your mouth will speak. Forget about the accent part of it.
Very important.
Forget about the
part
tone
that you've highlighted.
Yeah.
Because what we find is that in communication, people tend to prioritize accent. Like accent is the key point of communication.
Exactly.
And we see that in some way, we bring this back home. Here in Africa, in Nigeria, we are sort of tilting towards the West, right? We don't want to... people would even shame people
for not
African or who sound Nigerian.
It has an Hausa accent or an Igbo.
Exactly. So is that really a factor in terms of communicating? Is that something to consider? And for those who genuinely think they want to fine-tune their accent, is it something that can be learned?
Yes, it's something that can be learned. However, before I answer the question, there's nothing wrong with you having the accent if you can cleanly have it, right? Without mixing different kinds of accent in a sentence. If you can, that's fine. However, that's not the real deal. Because let's say, for instance, you are on the platform to address the UN or the WHO, for instance, or, and you don't have the substance with which you can communicate on that global balance, and make impact. They won't take home the fact that you sound like them. They want to know what is on your inside, that when we put you here, you're able to deliver. And so for me, I think it is much more important that we pay attention to the way we are developing, to the content of our minds. So that goes down to how much of information you devour. Between the ages of 12 and 19 or 20, I think, I had read beyond 30 books on finance, on marriage, on career, on administration, on management, on all sorts. I mean, books that when you look at it, you're like, okay, what the hell are you reading that book at that age for? But those are the things that blew my mind out. And so by the time I got to, let's say, 22, 3, 4, 5, I was already behaving like a 40-year-old because my mindset was far gone beyond what people of that age would think about. And so that gave me the power. I realized that I could talk boldly. I'm an assertive and emphatic person when I talk because I know what I'm talking about. And that's what communication for me is really all about. Because when you open your mouth to talk and you are somebody who is informed, people can tell you know what's up.
In terms, I mean, you've talked about speaking boldly, speaking on global stages. In fact, one of the chapters of your book here says the global stage, that's from page 63, part 4, right? There are a number of people who want to access this global stage. There are people who have platforms. For some of them who don't have the global stage yet, you have to address
You
the
have one now.
office. Yes, we do. There are people who have to address the office, who have to
Yeah.
make presentations,
Yeah.
but there are people who crumble under the weight of nerves. They will tell you, I'm a naturally shy person, I'm
Yeah.
an introvert, I don't like to speak in public. How important, I need you to let them, first of all, know that it's even possible
Yeah.
in the first place to be an introvert, to be a shy person, but still be able to master the dictates of excellent communication. And what are some of the tools that they can employ for people who feel that they're being drawn back because of their personality?
Just speak. Just speak. First of all, go to the school of education. Go to the school of blowing your mind. Because sometimes I realize that the persons who are shy and have low self-esteem and can't really confront people are people who haven't taken themselves to the cleaners of education. When I'm in education, I'm not talking about going to the university, right? I'm talking about being an avid learner. That's also why the book is Act Like a Student. It's being a learner. Study everything positive, anything that can move you from point A to B, anything that can move your mindset, your mentality, your behavioral pattern, anything that can shift you from your own norm to something new. You need to pay attention to that. When you do that to the level that it becomes abundant in your heart, you can't be shy any longer.
Right.
No, you won't be.
So much has been explained here. It's 183 pages, I
Yes,
think.
it is.
And then there's just the one
88
about...
actually.
88, okay,
Yeah.
great. Just about the author. What's feeling, as quickly as possible, what do you want people, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this book, and how can people access this book for those who want to lay their hands on it?
When you pick this book, what I want you to know is that whatever you are and whoever you are is important. And your ability to tell the world what you know, who you are, in a way that can inform and impact them to look your direction is important. That's what I want you to do when you read this book. And by the way, the book is on Amazon, but also you can send a message, a WhatsApp message to 0909 2124 530 to place an order. Else, just get to Amazon and buy the book.
Thank you so much for sharing your gift, your information with us. I'm hoping that I can also get this copy.
Oh, absolutely.
You
That's
have to
for
sign
you.
a copy for
That's
me.
for you.
Thank you so much. We've been joined by Nelson Etah to talk about communication and basically acting like a student and speaking like a boss, because communication is a very important factor regardless of what career path you find yourself. Now it's time for us to head over to sports, and we want to bring you the updates on breakfast headlines or Breakfast Central. There's more to come. Stick around.